Right, I've just got to give it a couple of seconds for my sound to catch up. Otherwise, it's normally wonky. Good evening and welcome to SEFC Fan TV and another edition of Thursday Night Live. Joining me tonight, we have Jack Dodge. Young Jack, how you doing?
I'm all right, Phil. How are you doing?
I'm not so bad. How's your day been? All right?
All right. Pretty boring. Not too bad for a Thursday.
Have you been to school?
No, been to work.
All right, okay, next one. We're also joined by a regular now on a Thursday night. We have Jack Shields with us. Jack, you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been all right. Been to work, just got back from the gym, Phil. Yeah, looking forward to another bit banter about Sunderland and discuss our favourite pastime, the joys of being a Sunderland fan.
Nice one. And we've been joined by Terry. The Mad Mistake is with us today. Good day today, Terry?
Well, better than Tuesday, yes.
Oh, get over it, man. What's the matter with you? Right, we are live, which means you can join us via the live chat if you wish to do so. Joining the show. If there's any topics you'd like to throw at us, we'll do our best to try and address those as well. Already first up, as he normally is the last Palmas Mackham. Says evening, lads. Dean Cook is there. Mick Griffiths, Chloe Gibson, Hugo, our friend, down in Portugal. Hugo is. John Forbes is there. Conrad Tang, Alan Robinson, Lauren Kenny. Hello to Lauren Kenny. Christopher Lee. Didn't he play Dracula? And you'll know all about that, won't you, Terry?
Yeah, it was fantastic, Dracula, actually.
There you go. And
Peter Cushing
is there as well. Michael Bowers, friend of the show. Hello, Phil, Terry, and the Jacks. Right, well, let's start then with Tuesday night. Everybody was it was all doom and gloom. Sunderland 1, Lincoln City 0. I'm going to start with you, Jack. First of all, I want to ask: did Lee Johnson set us up wrong for this game?
Which is that to me, Phil?
Sorry, young Jack.
You're asking if Lee Johnson set us up wrong for the game?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Really. I mean, we've got a lot of players out at the moment, haven't we, with COVID and injuries and such. And you look back at Saturday's performance, I thought that was actually second half anyway. We were really, really strong. I think we were really unlucky not to beat Wickham. The amount of times where we had chances that were just missed, or it was a last-ditch defensive effort from one of them. Yeah, you can probably point out points where we made mistakes and didn't take our chance or whatever. But I think on the whole, it was quite a strong performance really against Wickham, especially in the second half. So to only make the one change we had to bring Evans out. Maybe bringing Diamond wasn't the right option. I don't think he was a particularly strong player. But I think there wasn't really a lot of options we had, and he kept it as similar to the team that drew away at Wickham on Saturday as possible. So as much as in an ideal world, me and Terry were discussing maybe we would play 3 centre-halves instead of playing a flat back 4. Was discussing that before the show. I don't think we've got the luxury at the moment to kind of say exactly what team we want to play because we've got that many players out and unavailable. Which to me, I just think, we were in an awkward situation again. We had to make another change, and he did. I don't particularly blame Lee Johnson for the lineup he put out.
Right, fair enough. I'll come to you, Terry. I know you weren't in there. Just very quickly, Jeff Holcroft, Spannerman, says the Jack Dodds Hair Appreciation Society. Also, Craig Tupling says, what's with the Jack? Flock of Seagulls, dogs. Jack won't have a clue who the Flock of Seagulls are anyway. But
and right over my head, which is a hard thing to do considering the boot font on top.
Well, just
like the Seagulls would do.
Yeah, just do what you youngsters do nowadays. Get on Google and just Google a Flock of Seagulls. Terry, you're one in there.
Yeah, it just proves to me how little confidence Lee Johnson has in Jamajli and Younger, because you're playing a system that actually works. You go on a 10-game unbeaten run. You changed it for the Wickham match, and we were terrible at the back. We all knew we were terrible at the back. So did Lee Johnson think, it's only Lincoln. We'll turn up with the same back 4. We'll beat Lincoln very comfortably. It's only Lincoln. For me, I thought he took Lincoln lightly, and I thought we should have played a 3 at the back. We should have brought in Younger or Jamajli, to be honest, because 2 at the back doesn't work. Simple as. You can see the weak at the back with 2. Missed Bailey Wright massively. So I think he tinkered with the system and got it completely wrong.
Right, so you do think Lee Johnson did set us up wrong then?
100%.
All right, okay, fair enough. We'll come back to Lauren Kenny, who's already mentioned on there, saying people are blaming the pitch, saying it costs us the game. Funny enough, we just spoke about this briefly before we came on air, so we will go back to that. Jack Shields, did Lee Johnson set us up wrong for this game?
No, I don't think it was the actual the tactics or the formation or anything like that. I just think it looked like a team to me that we looked really, really tired. I thought we looked tired, like we weren't sharp enough on the ball. First half, I noticed the first 15 or 20 minutes. Normally, we get a bit of a passing game going and the crowd get up, but I just think we gave so many balls away. We didn't, we lost possession so many times. We weren't able to build any kind of momentum. Didn't get any possession going, any passing or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, he who shall not be named come back to haunt us, didn't he? Took his goals very, very well. I thought it was a bit disappointing how easily we were carved open at the back. But I don't think it was so much the formation or the tactics or anything like that. I just think it looked like maybe a team that had played a lot of games recently and maybe had run out of steam a little bit. Lincoln, I think, had a bit of a break. I don't think they played as many games. I might be wrong on that one, but I don't think they played as many games as we have over the last few weeks, and they looked a bit fresher to me, which is a bit of a worry, a bit of a concern. I know we've had COVID and injuries and things, but it's going to be a hard run-in between now and the end of the season. So, yeah, really, really disappointing performance. Too many players just didn't turn up. Too many 5 and 6 out of 10s, and we deservedly lost the game.
Right, fair enough. John T on here says LGA was to blame. He also says that the game should have not gone ahead. We believed we'd roll over. Lincoln got caught after a punishing game against Wycombe Wanderers. We praised sort of Lee Johnson and the club for letting these games go ahead when we could have quite easily have had them called off, had them postponed. And now we let them go ahead, and now people are saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have played." So
yeah, but we lost another player after Saturday. We lost Evans as well. So how many more players we're going to lose before we have no players left?
Right. Okay. Jack, you was one in there.
Yeah, I mean, Terry's probably just made a point that's going to counteract what I'm about to say, really, in terms of losing Evans. It's another player, but we went ahead with playing the game against Wycombe, and I think, all told, that was probably a decent decision, really. If you offered most fans a point before you went down, I think anyone who's reasonable, to be fair, would have probably accepted a point. Away at Wycombe as one of the better teams in the league, one of the hardest fixtures. Going to Adams Park, it's never an easy game, especially for a team like ourselves, who I think probably aren't the most physical. Yes, we've lost Evans, but on paper, then Lincoln City at home looked a lot easier of a fixture, a lot simpler. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say now after the game that we should have called it off when we played so well against Wycombe. Yes, lost an additional player who was probably, quite important to the first team. But then to caveat that, we also had a slightly easier fixture against Lincoln. I don't think it's a fair argument to make when we played so well at Wycombe away. Then we turned up on Tuesday night and things didn't go our way, but we had no reason to believe that was going to be the case before the game, I don't think. I think we were all expecting us to do quite well, regardless of the players who were out.
Right. Go on, Terry, you want in?
Yeah, I think it was just a catalyst of loads of things that went wrong on the night. It was just not meant to be, was it? I mean, the pitch situation, Chris Maguire not getting sent off, and most of the team not turning up, so it was just a catalyst of loads of things that went against us. And hopefully it'll put a rocket up our arse for the continuing rest of the season.
Right. Okay, just very quickly. Tam says, was Jack's shirt out before he was born? Yes, long before he was born. Full 007 says, Jack, love your John Byrne top. Do you know what the reference is there, Jack?
Yeah. John Byrne scored, I believe, in every round of the cup. If the other spot was out, I believe. Yeah,
apart from the final. But he did. He did. Full 73 also. Go on, Terry.
And also, John Byrne, the favourite part of his body was his hairstyle. He loved his hair. He had hair just like yours. Nice big bush, just like yours.
As soon as his hands went above his shoulders, I knew there was a head. I'm going to need to get it.
As soon as he had a head of the ball, he got his comb out and he's brushing his hair.
You just need a few highlights in there, Jack. and you'll be John Burness.
That almost certainly won't be happening, Phil.
Well, you never know. If you fall asleep on the bus, maybe it will. Right, Fullwell 007 says, does anyone know why the pitch was waterlogged before the game? Right, people are on about the pitch. We'll start with you, Terry. Is the pitch one of the main reasons why we didn't win then on Tuesday?
Well, it was kind of one of the excuses Lee Johnson was coming out with. And I noticed, I didn't even know the pitch had been watered because, I mean, time I get in and go on the ground, I didn't take much notice. But I noticed there's one or two parts in front of me was churning up, and I thought, it looked a bit soft and a bit squidgy. But then you saw the pictures before the game, and I think, why on earth do you water a pitch before the match starts? And then you drown it like a flood. And then Lee Johnson was basically saying it shouldn't have been watered in the first place. So, I mean, how do you get that miscommunication anyway? It's like a phone call is basically sort of the groundsman. Well, the pitch watered? No. Put the phone down. Oh, what did he say? Yes. And goes, water. I don't get it. I just don't understand what goes on. I mean, surely that can never happen again. Never, ever.
Well, I mean, was it just an excuse? Was the plan to water the pitch, and then when it's not gone our way, there's an excuse for you? But I mean, you're right in what you say. It's not a difficult command, to get to liaise between the groundsman and the manager for what he wants. But who knows? Jack Shields, the pitch, do you think that cost us?
Yeah, it certainly didn't help. I think we all saw the pictures on social media whereby it looked in decent condition, and then suddenly we're throwing a load of water on top of it, and it's going to get sludgy, it's going to get messy, it's going to get, churning up in areas as well, to be fair, as Terry said. So I don't understand it. I can understand in the summer, the pitch is a bit dry, maybe adding it, making it slick, so your team like us that likes to pass and move quite a bit, but the pitch looked in good condition. So just to echo what Terry said, really, some miscommunication somewhere. I mean, I don't think it was done deliberately, because we're a better team, when the pitch is nice and green, like it was in the kind of before image, you know what I mean, rather than the after image where it looked like, I don't know, the Battle of the Somme or something like that had been on it, didn't it? It didn't look very good. I
don't think our pitches looked in that good condition for quite a few months now. I mean, I didn't realise how bad it was until you sort of, you see it on the telly when you're there. I just it's looked that good. Jack Dodds, did the pitch? Do you think that was to blame for Tuesday?
I don't think you could say it takes the entire blame. I mean, the performance from us just wasn't good enough in the slate. It was really it was 3 and 4s out of 10s across the pitch. I think really. A lot of things you could put the lost town doing, and I don't think you can really say the pitch cost the game. But I will say it didn't help. The type of football we like to play, we like to get the ball on the ground, pass it around, move, be quite fluent going forward. I think we're probably the best team in the division when it comes to that, passing the ball and quickly and getting forward into good areas. And a really wet pitch just doesn't really allow for that. It's probably more suited to a team that's going to be more physical and, isn't so bothered about quickly zipping the ball around the field, but is more bothered about lumping balls in the box and, being nasty. So I don't think it helped us, but I think you couldn't really say it cost us the entire game. But one thing I will reiterate, which I think is probably what everyone's saying, really, I've seen the photo on Twitter myself as well, a pretty stupid idea to do so. Really, the pitch looked perfectly fine, then all of a sudden someone waters it for 20 minutes, half an hour, however long it was. And it ruins it, really. It ruins the surface, and it just needs to make sure it doesn't happen again, because it seems like such an easily avoidable mistake.
Right, Sam's saying it's a bit of a daft excuse to blame the pitch. Go on then, Jack Shields.
I don't think we can use it as an excuse. We didn't. So you can't say like perhaps at Portsmouth, whereby it cost us the game. Maybe not. You can't say the sole reason that Sunderland lost that game was because of the pitch, because Lincoln were the better team. We lost because we were the second best on the night. But when you want to give yourself the best advantage, I think when you go away from home, you can't really have too much say about what the home team does to their pitch. But when you're at the Stadium of Light, you want to maximise your opportunity to win the game, and it was just like it was a seemingly backward decision to do what we've done.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Yeah, it just seemed that we had no ideas going forward. whenever we were going forward, we seemed to just stop, going at a slow snail's pace, passing the ball backwards again. Just nobody had any movement. There was just no idea how to break Lincoln down. It was like, because they had every man behind the ball. We just did not know how to break them down at all, which for me is a bit clueless, to be honest. It was just like I said, nobody seemed to want to take control of the game, and there was no urgency, there was no passion, there was no want, no drive. The first half just flew over, and I thought, what the hell have I just watched? You get that game against Wigan, and you get that game against Lincoln, two complete different ends. It was so fast against Wigan. It was really flowing football, good to watch, entertaining football. And on Tuesday, it was just like, I'd rather go and watch Sunday League.
Well, this is why with football, you know, this is why it's so difficult to predict. You can put two same teams out 2 weeks running, and 1 week they come in, they're absolutely brilliant, and the next week they can't even pass a ball to each other.
And it's sod's law. Maguire could have almost snapped Winchester's leg, and then Winchester does something really stupid in the box, which he's never done before for Sunderland, and gets sent off. So it's just a catalyst of so many things that just went wrong on the night.
Right. Well, we are gonna get on to Chris Maguire anyway. Just very quickly, Michael Bowers, part of our team down here, says, "Don't think Saturday alone determines whether automatic promotion is finished." We have had a lot of people on social media saying that's it, automatic promotion,
which is ridiculous, by the way,
and stuff like that. John C replies to Michael saying, "Dream on, Michael," which Michael replies saying, "Dream on, really?" in his Michael Bowers voice saying, and then Michael says, "For having a different opinion." Go on, Michael, you get in there, and go on, John T. You say it how it is. Fight, I would imagine we'll get that set up.
And go on, Philly, you just cause the trouble there and stir it up as much as possible.
I'm not, I'm just reading out the comments, that's all it is. It's all about opinions.
Yeah, we'll all see you stirring the pot, Phil. We know what you're doing.
Listen, we all have opinions. Right then, just very quickly, 120 people on the stream already, 45 likes. We'd like to try and hit 100 likes if we can. Just hit that thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that. If you are watching on a mobile device and your live chat is open, just hit the cross in the top right-hand corner there. That'll close that down, and you'll see the thumbs up. Just smash that. And don't forget, if you are watching the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It's free to do so, and it does help our channel out immensely. Chris Maguire, then. We start by, well, let's start. What was that, a red card then? That tackle right in front of the dugout, Jack Shields. Should that have been an instant red, and he shouldn't have then not been on the pitch to do what he did?
Yeah, it looked a red to me. It was high, it was late. I think it was studs up. I think sometimes with fan reaction, particularly, at home, you're itching for any advantage you can get, and we're always going to shout for it. But it looked like a bad tackle at the time, and then I've seen it back again in footage, and yeah, it's a nasty one. I think it's one of those that it shouldn't be this way, but early in the game, sometimes the referee lets the game flow a little bit more, and I don't understand that attitude, because I think if it's a red card tackle, it's a red card tackle, and I think I would say the same if it was a Sunderland player making that tackle. But I think early on the referee's a little bit more lenient. You know what I mean? He tends to give players a couple, and rather than put a red card out and maybe think, I'm going to spoil the game, he maybe thinks I'm going to give a yellow, even though it looked a bad tackle. I've seen it back again. Yeah, I thought it should have been a red. He was lucky to stay on the pitch for me.
Well, in that case, and we'll throw this to Jack. I don't know if how you'll comment on this, because you are part of the referees association. Do you agree that early in the game? Is a red card's a red card any time in the game? I imagine you're going to say yes.
I think, you shouldn't let 1 minute of the game a tackle's made influence your decision on the slightest, really. If occasionally you may do so, if it's for a foul, that's maybe a foul, maybe not. Occasionally, a referee might let that go if it's a bit earlier in the game, just to stop the game getting stopped all the time. But I think when it comes to actual fouls that require yellow and especially red cards, I think, I doubt any ref would, in good conscience, make the decision to say it's too early in the game to give a red card. If it's a red card, it's a red card, and it's a massive decision that's going to change the game, is what I would say.
Right. Terry, should that have been an instant red, and he should have been off, and so wouldn't have been on the pitch to get that hat-trick?
Oh, of course, it should have been a red card. The referee again, man, was completely clueless, wasn't he? I mean, another instance, their first goal. The referee wasn't even watching what was going on with the game. They took a quick free kick, and about 5 seconds later, the referee realised, took a free kick, just let it go on. We tried to do it 3 or 4 times. The referee blew his whistle and brought the player back. It's like, get some consistency, bloke. You know what I mean? Just absolutely clueless. He didn't even look in shape, man, for God's sake. Some of these referees and these lines people, they need to invest some money into the AFL sort of officiation and get some young'uns coming through and try and sort of get the officials that want to perform and want to get better, not people who just come part-time again. He's probably going to work at some sort of cafe, full-time job, just serving cups of coffee, you know what I mean? Absolutely rotten referees. And I'm still going on about it, but it's if Paul Winchester there, if he had his legs snapped, he still wouldn't have been sent off, but his season would have been over. You've got to protect the players, man.
Well, I'll come back to Jack Dodds just now. What shape was he? Was he sort of the same shape as Dino?
Who, me?
No, it doesn't matter. Forget it. All right. Jack Dodds, you was one in there.
Yeah, I was going to ask Terry, of all professions, why would it be a barista?
I don't know. It looked like he drinks coffee and eats donuts. I didn't look in shape at all.
And to be fair, I think on Sunday they were pushing trolleys in Asda. Is that what
exactly?
Something like that. Right. Well, more to the point with Chris Maguire, and I know it's this splits opinion. Chris Maguire going up to Lee Johnson and his celebration after his first goal. Was he right or wrong to do that? I'm going to come to Jack Dodds last on this because I know you've got a strong opinion on it. Terry, was he right or wrong to do that?
It's entirely up to him. I wasn't bothered about him doing that at all. I was, end of the day, I like Chris Maguire. I liked him when he was at the club. I didn't want him to leave at all. And, he scored some fantastic goals. His hat-trick even though he shouldn't have been on the pitch, which I still think he should have been sent off, but his hat-trick was a good hat-trick, took his goals really well, and the personality came through. And if he wants to go, he got frozen out of the club under Lee Johnson for whatever reason. We don't know what went on. He's obviously got an issue with Lee Johnson. If he wants to go up to him and celebrate a goal, fair dues. That's the way it goes, end of the day. Lee Johnson made his bed. He's got to sleep in it.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat, I'm just getting wrong off Dino's dad. Sorry, Raymondo. I was just trying to have a laugh. Jack Shields, Chris Maguire's celebration then up to Lee Johnson as he did. Was he right or wrong to do that?
I don't think he was wrong to do it. I think we all love Chris Maguire when he was like that. I think I said it myself hundreds of times. He's the type of player that you love when he plays for you. When he's against you, you think he's a little, you know what I mean? And I think it's just Sunderland in true Sunderland fashion. He to be fair to Chris Maguire, he probably has maybe 3 or 4 of them games a season. And he was like that with us. I think the kind of glorification from some of our fans of him, I think it goes a little bit over the top. All this rubbish about him being the king. I mean, the king to me is Charlie Hurley. So glorifying a League One player like Chris Maguire and calling him the king, I don't think that does any favours either. I wasn't sure why we used to call him that and put him on this pedestal. Ultimately, he used to have a few games like that for us a season, and he had one last night for Lincoln, 2 nights ago, for Lincoln against us. So it was frustrating. In terms of what he did with Lee Johnson, I think that, there was a bit of bad blood between them. I think you could see he was fired up. When Chris Maguire's fired up, that's probably when he plays at his best. It's just unfortunate that it happened against us. I have no problem with it. Like you say, we loved it. We loved it when he was doing it for us. So it's just horrible that it was against us.
Right, fair enough. I'll come to you in a sec, Terry. Michael Bowers says, I'm looking forward to Mr. Dodds. His opinion on Maguire. He's expecting a rant. Terry, you want in?
I mean, when he went to take his first corner, the crowd gave him a round of applause, and he gave them all a clap back. Yeah, they did, and he gave them all a clap back. And not just that, when he scored his goals, he didn't celebrate. So at the end of the day, I thought he was respectful. If he doesn't like Lee Johnson, there's plenty of people out there probably don't. So at the end of the day, what he did, it's up to him.
Right, fair enough. Jack Dodds then, right or wrong on this celebration?
Right, it may have been slightly immature, and in years to come, Chris Maguire may regret the decision to run over and celebrate in front of Lee Johnson like he did. However, you've got to accept that there's bad blood between the two of them. Maguire was at the club for about 2.5 years before Johnson came in. Really enjoyed his time here. Yes, he was an inconsistent player, but he did have a lot of success here. And when you look and compare how his career went up until the point where he joined Sunderland, I think his time at our club was probably the most successful few years of his career in terms of his own individual performances, goals, assists, etc. You could tell he loved the club. You could tell he loved the fans. He loved playing for us. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I quite like Lee Johnson. I've never really been Johnson out. I don't think we've probably put him on the fence. That's about it. But to be fair, Johnson came in and, almost immediately, pretty quickly made it clear to Maguire that he wasn't really part of his plans. I think he started maybe a couple of games in the early days, but after that, Aidan O'Brien was getting in the team ahead of him. Now, we can all accept that Chris Maguire was a better footballer than Aidan O'Brien. It doesn't really take a genius to work that out. But Johnson wanted a specific type of player to play in his team, and Chris Maguire didn't fit the model. But I can still understand how Chris Maguire is a bit upset and a bit annoyed at that, because he was here for so long. He was almost part of the furniture in this division at the club, really. Had a relative success at our club on his own personal degree, and you could tell that he really enjoyed his time here. So I can completely understand why he was quite annoyed at Johnson, and why actually scoring a goal in front of him and then going over and celebrating in front of him, gave him a little bit, I don't know, a bit of validation maybe. What really annoyed me was the response from the fans. I don't really blame Maguire for what he did. Like I say, there's clearly something at that between him and Johnson. Johnson probably was also the one behind not renewing his contract as well. And it really annoyed us because of all the things that I've touched on, I think Maguire deserved probably, if anything, an ovation coming back here. I noticed the stadium announcer didn't say number 10, please welcome back to the stadium like Chris Maguire. He just said number 10, Chris Maguire. And he was almost getting booed throughout the game, seemingly just for scoring goals. He made it clear as soon as he scored the first goal, he put his hands up. That's the typical respectful sign when you score against your old club, that you don't want to celebrate and agitate the fans. He went over and celebrated in front of Johnson, but it really annoyed me the way the fans went on, and I just thought it was really immature. I felt as if fans were booing him just because he was scoring goals, which, let's be fair, if he was doing that for us, would have absolutely loved him. I didn't get it in the slightest, the criticism of him. I know there was a red card incident. I wasn't even really aware of that, to be honest, until after the game when I started seeing it on social media. And I think all the fans around me were booing him with the exact same. Towards the end of the game, a lot of fans even started clapping him. I was on myself when he came over and started taking corners, and people were arguing about that, kicking off, saying you shouldn't be clapping him, you should be booing him, things like that. I just thought it was pathetic, really. It really, really annoyed us, to be honest. The disrespect was short and really.
Right, okay then. I mean, people can boo him, people can clap him. We all pay our money. If you can do what you want. Personally, go on then, Jack. You jump in, and then I'll say my bit.
I just think, sorry to interrupt you, Phil. I just think it was just a quick overall point I wanted to make. I think Terry says he wanted to keep him. I'd probably have to disagree with that slightly, because I think really, when you look at his stats, I think he got 22 league goals across 3 seasons. So he's averaging, 7 a season, maybe 6-7 goals a season, something like that. And I think really the model that we want to go down now is really developing younger players. That seems to be the recruitment model. Get younger players in and develop them. Chris Maguire's, I think he's 33 this week, I think. So really, I know you might say give him another contract and, you take those 5, 6, 7 good games he has a season. But really, I don't think it was a shocker of a decision to let him go. I think fans are maybe looking back now thinking, oh, it's just because he got a hat-trick against us. It's just really unfortunate. But I think overall, the decision to get rid of him, it wasn't a terrible decision. It was one of those that could have gone either way, and it's just come to bite us on the arse a little bit.
Go on, young Jack, jump in.
Yeah, I think it was a bit bittersweet when he went. Me and Conrad made a video on the channel kind of discussing all the players who weren't having the contracts renewed. And I think we both kind of said the same thing on Maguire, which was, in an ideal world, it might be nice to keep him around, but just he wasn't really part of Johnson's plans. I mean, you could tell because straight away he was benched and he was dropped, and other players were brought in instead of him. But one thing I want to throw out, okay, Jack Diamond played for us on Tuesday night. Now, some point last season, I think it was a 4-year contract he was given, like he's here until 2024. Do you think it's worth then getting rid of Chris Maguire, who, to be fair, may have still been decent off the bench as an impact player, got a bit of experience to pass out with younger lads? Do you think it's fair to get rid of Maguire in that sense and then give Jack Diamond a 4-year contract? He's not really done anything to deserve it. It's just a question I want to throw out there because a few people were talking about it around where I was stood.
Right. Well, we'll jump back into that. I just want to give my thoughts on Chris Maguire. I thought he was bang out of line. what he did in his celebration with Lee Johnson. And I think the fact that, he respected the fans when he scored the goal and didn't want to celebrate. But then I think he's ruined all of that then by going to Lee Johnson in his face and what have you. Now he's trying to say the reason he's done this is Lee Johnson tried to get him sent off because of that tackle. That tackle, what he made was a sending off tackle. And I would expect our manager to be in whoever's face it needs to be in to have him sent off, right? So he's a professional footballer, right? He can't then complain at Sunderland fans booing him because he's gone up and been in Lee Johnson's face. You just don't do it. That's, do your talking on the pitch. He scored a hat-trick, and that's where he should have done his talking. And then, that was his 2 fingers up to Lee Johnson. I've scored a hat-trick. I think he's let himself down badly by being in Lee Johnson's face. It's unprofessional. He shouldn't have done it. No way. And I didn't like it at all. And the thing is, I mean, he had a spell at the club where he was all right, but I thought he was quite inconsistent. I think Gooch is more consistent than what Maguire was. People are complaining, right, that we shouldn't have let him go. we let him go. He was terrible towards the end, and people are saying, I'm not
surprised he was terrible because he never got a bloody game. He was treated like shite.
Well, the thing is people are saying he'd have been great coming off the bench, right? It's just, I just think he was over it. I mean, Jack Shields hit the nail on the head, calling him the king. I mean, I could never, ever get my head around that.
That's a bit tongue-in-cheek. Come on, Owie. That's a bit tongue-in-cheek.
It's a bit far to start him as a king, but it was probably almost a bit irony in it as well,
But it's clearly not the king, but it was good banter, it was good crack at the time. And you're only upset because you love Lee Johnson.
Well, no, I just think as a professional footballer, he'd have had more respect from me if he'd have not done that. Not celebrating against the fans because he was happy to say, I like the Sunderland fans, they were great to me, whatever. But then try and blame Sunderland fans for booing him when he's in our manager's face, right? Giving our manager, of our team, I think he's just let himself down.
But then our manager went and strangled one of their players, so how can he defend that?
Deserve being strangled.
Oh, so you think that player should have been strangled?
Yes, I think he should have got down and punched him right in the face, man.
Honestly, there you go, Lee Johnson all
ridiculous.
Over it. You cannot not defend Chris Maguire, but then go and say it's perfectly fine for Lee Johnson to go and get hold of one of their players by the throat and almost strangle them.
I want a bit of passion from my
physical
manager.
Violence.
For me.
Exactly, a bit of passion. Maguire wouldn't Lee Johnson go and get in, I scored. That's a bit of passion. Getting hold of somebody's throat, throttling the bugger is violence.
Listen,
you want violence but no passion.
Yes, well, listen. If I want to have it both ways, I'll have it both ways. Just my opinion, right? Just very quickly, before we go any further, I want to give a massive shout out to Dawn Stavely. Thanks, Dawn Stavely. £5 via the super chat. Come have a round of applause, please, for Dawn for donating that. Don't forget, of course, we are live. You can comment for free via the live chat. However, this channel doesn't make a profit and it does cost money to run. So any donations that come in are gratefully accepted and appreciated. They do help with the cost of the running of the channel. Right then, Jack, what was the thing you chucked out there you wanted to...
I do agree it was maybe a bit immature of Maguire and there was maybe no need. And yes, some fans probably are going to get on your back for doing that regardless, going on and celebrating in front of Johnson. My only point was I thought it was really unnecessary from our fans. And I just think we were hating on him kind of like for no reason. It was almost just because we were playing so bad, we were taking out on him. It was the same with throwing Max Power on the first game of the season when Wigan came to the stadium. And like Charlie White, I kind of understand. There was a bit of an echo.
Probably in your head.
Is it? I don't know. Well, I can hear it. I kind of understand Charlie White because there was the whole situation that happened in the playoff semi-final at home after the game. He then did turn us down and go to Wigan, and there was, people saying, "Oh, it's just because of more money." I can kind of understand people getting their Wikes back, but I just thought to Bill Power and Jordan Jones was completely pathetic as well. There were two players that wanted to stay or come to the club for another season. and they didn't because we didn't decide it was right for them to do so, and that's a fair enough decision. I just don't like it when our fans get on, ex-players' backs when they really haven't done anything wrong to us as fans or to the club in general. I don't think.
Right. Okay. Just very quickly, there's we're still on with this game, but I want to quickly, because time is getting on. I want to tell people about this trip you can win. You can get on the bus with the SAFC Fan TV team. We are going down to Burnley, and so we're not going to Burnley. We're going to Bolton. I don't even know where we're going. So to tell you all about it, well, it's me here. So here we go. Hi, I'm here to tell you about a fantastic competition we are running on SAFC Fan TV. It is open to members only, and we are giving one lucky member a chance to join us on our trip to Bolton when Bolton play Sunderland on Saturday, the 29th of January. The lucky winner will get a place on the bus with all the SAFC Fan TV team. We're all travelling down there. Yes, you will have to endure Terry singing all the way down. You will also be given a free ticket to get into the ground and, of course, transport home. You must be 18 years or older because the chances are we will end up in a pub at some point during the day as well. You must also live sort of in the region so that you can make it to one of the pickup points to get you on and off the bus to travel down to Bolton. As we've already said, you must be a member of the channel. If you're not already a member, you can join. It is only $1.99, and there is a link in the description below. Just click on that. You can join. Then once you are a member, all you have to do is express your interest by sending your name as it appears on YouTube to our email address, which is safcfantv73@gmail.com. Just tell us you're interested in being put into the draw for the competition to win the tickets and the travel to Bolton Wanderers. We will draw out the winner live on the Sunday Bunch on Sunday, the 23rd of January. So good luck to you all. Get yourselves in the competition, and we hope to see you at Bolton with the rest of the team. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Thanks very much, Philly, for that. In the studio. We'll tell you now, we only actually have 59 members of the channel, so there's a good chance of you winning, and there's only actually 4 people have expressed their interest, so there's only 4 people in the draw as well, so you've got a good chance of winning. Obviously, if you're in the area and you want to go to Bolton with the lads, then do that now. You can find via the link in the description below. Right then, was there any positives we can take from Tuesday night? I know it was a defeat. Jack Shields?
No, not really. Another goal for Ross Stewart. I don't know what happened with the penalty, but he seemed to scruffily get it over the line. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. It was a really disappointing night. I can't really think of many positives, to be honest.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly before I forget to do this, I want to say a massive thank you to David Miller, who's donated £10 to the running costs of the channel. A massive round of applause, please, for David Miller. Thank you, David. It's all very much appreciated and will help with our running costs. Terry, is there any positives we can take from Tuesday night?
Nothing at all.
No one player did sort of all right, nothing?
No, nothing.
Well, that's taking a lot of time for this question. Jack, can you say anything, young Jack?
Maybe it'll act as a lesson in some way, but no, not really.
Well, I shouldn't have even bothered with that question then. Fair enough. No man of the match, no like that. No, were they all that rubbish?
But clearly, man of the match was Maguire, wasn't he? So
I was going to say, it wasn't a Sunderland player that was man of the match.
Well, we don't want to talk about Chris Maguire, do we? We all know our feelings on him. Right then. So I think it's just a one-off game, innit? We're back in it with Accrington. Everything's going to be fine again. This is not going to be start of a losing streak, which people are already jumping onto already. Jack Dodds, just a blip?
Yeah, I think so. We've been through it before, haven't we, where we had a spell of a few bad games. We turned it around against all odds with very few squad players remaining, really, didn't we? And went on a great run of form. I think last night we just looked very flat. The off-the-ball movement for me was the one thing I noticed the most, where often Flanagan and Doyle had the ball, were trying to get in a tackle and trying to move the ball to the pitch, and no one really seemed to want it. The mid-centre fielders weren't really there, present to pick up the ball. None of the forwards were making runs or coming a bit deeper to pick it up. I actually think, if anything, we might have missed Leon Diaco a little bit. You know, I think one thing I give him credit for is off the ball. He always moves. He always tries to get in behind when he can and give an option. I think that's the main thing. I said a lot of people have said we look quite tired. That could also be a fair point. The pitch comes into it. Maybe Lincoln picked up their performance as well. I do just think it was a bit of a one-off, really. We've got a good opportunity to right that wrong away to Accrington. I know it's not going to be an easy fixture. It never is. But, you know, we've done all right there before, and I think it's a decent opportunity, especially with 4 or 5 players on the way back in time for the weekend's fixture. It seems to get back to winning ways.
Right, fair enough. We've got to thank someone else who's donated 79p to the channel, and Terry is going to read out their name and thank them.
Archie. His name's Archie's short. It's short for Archie. There you go. Thank you, Archie, for 79 pence. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Whatever your name is.
That's got to be someone taking the mic. That can't be somebody's real name. Someone's having a laugh there.
Thanks to you. Probably called Trevor or something like that, isn't he? All right.
Chris Maguire.
Right. Where was we at, I've even forgot where we're at. Oh, yeah, just a blip. We were just a blip. I've gone to you already, Jack, have I? Yep. Terry, just a blip? It was just a blip, wasn't it?
Well. Right. There's one more thing certain in life apart from death and taxes. What's that going to be on Saturday? Can anyone tell me? 10 points?
A nurse.
Accrington Stanley are going to water the pitch, that's for certain, on Saturday, right? Accrington Stanley have beaten Rotherham a couple of games ago, and they beat Lincoln also there, so it's no cert Saturday. Accrington Stanley are probably the only team, when they take the lead, they've never lost a game as well, so we must not go behind in this game on Saturday. Difficult game? Is it a blip? We'll let you know at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, man, honestly. So if we lose on Saturday, then you're going to be back in the Lee Johnson out camp then, aren't you, Terry? And now you're going to tell me that you've never been in that camp, aren't you?
No comment.
Oh, God. Get off the fence, man. Jack Shields.
I already said I don't particularly like him.
Listen, this is just... It's just a one-off, innit, Jack? I mean, we did all right against Wickham. I mean, I know people are complaining that we've conceded 6 goals in 2 games, but I mean, Wickham, we should have won that as well. But Jack, this is just a blip.
I think, yeah, Terry's hit it on the head. You know, you'll know at 5 o'clock. You'll probably know earlier than that. You'll probably know at 3:20 on Saturday, because when you see Sunderland's first 15 or 20 minutes, you'll be able to judge how well we've reacted. Either we go into it, we get on the ball, we try and play like we did a couple of weeks ago against Sheffield Wednesday, create chances, get the ball wide, and look to play the ball and score some early goals, or we're flat, no energy and no tempo, and we're in for a difficult afternoon, because Accrington Stanley have picked up. I think Terry's touched on the recent results. I think they've only lost 1 in the last 7 I've been checking, and they'll fancy it. They always get a bigger crowd when Sunderland are there. They seem to like the atmosphere of the big club coming to them, and they'll be bang up for it. So anybody that thinks we're going to go down to Accrington and coast at 4-0, I think they're in for a bit of a surprise, because I think it'll be a tough, tight game. And yeah, you'll know after 15, 20 minutes how the game's going to go, I think.
Have we ever lost to Accrington Stanley?
No, I don't think we have.
Not in recent years, anyway. I don't think so.
No, I don't think we have. I think we've had a draw, haven't we? We had a draw with them, I think.
I think at home we've done worse than we have away. Typically, I remember last season we beat them away, I think, but we drew at home. I remember, I think our very first season in League One, we beat them 3-0 away, but we drew at home. I think it's a mixture of draws and wins, I think.
I remember one game going down there when it was absolutely soaking wet. I remember that when I got abandoned after 75 minutes. It was absolutely drenched.
It got rearranged for a couple of months later. We ended up winning 3-0. It was 1-1 with 10 minutes left there, I think.
Right, okay then. Just very quickly on the chat, Jeff Allcroft says we've got echoing. Let us know who's echoing and we'll try and sort that out for you. I haven't got a clue what my wife's on about. There, Tam says if we lose Saturday, it'll be streaky bacon crisps all round, apparently, but we shall see. Right then, well, let's get on to. I'll tell you what, we've got 79 likes at the moment, so we are just 21 away from the 100 we'd like to get. Just hit the thumbs up if you would, please. Take a second to do that, and don't forget, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It does help the channel, and it is free to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button if you would, please. Transfer rumours then starting to kick about. Now, of course, we are in that transfer window. I'd like to get all the transfer dealings done as soon as possible. Then we can get everyone bedded in. We'll start with Johnson Clark Harris is the name what's come up most recent. And also bandied about is this £6 million price tag. So first of all, forget the £6 million. Would Clark Harris be a good buy for us? Jack Shields?
I don't know, because I'll probably take him on the right deal, but might he be a bit too similar to Ross Stewart? You know what I mean? He's a tall, physical striker. He's athletic like Ross Stewart. Might he be a bit too similar to him? He wouldn't be the type of striker I'd personally go for, but on the right deal, to the end of the season, possibly. But he wouldn't be he wouldn't be someone I'd look at as kind of the number one target.
Yeah, he was prolific in League One. He's not really done it. I think he's only scored 4 goals, I think, for Peterborough. Just very quickly on the chat, Stephen Clark says, for Accrington, of the last 7 meetings, we've won 5 and we've drawn 2. But we can't be going down there trying to get a draw. We need to win that game. Terry, Johnson Clark Harris, forget the £6 million what's being bandied out, which is stupid. Would you take him? Do you think it would be a good buy for us?
I don't think he will come to Sunderland.
So it's you. There you go. Hilarious. Right. You don't think he would come to Sunderland?
Not to sit on the bench. I mean, you can't play them both. Can you play them both together in the same team? Will Johnson play both strikers together in the same team? So for me, it's not going to come from Peterborough to sit on the bench in League One. So I don't think it'll happen.
Right, okay. Forget the £6 million, Jack Dodds. Would you take him?
I mean, he's been a player that I've said probably for years, really, that we're quite to have. I think in particular after our first season in League One, going into the second one in that window, I really wanted us to sign. I think he's at Bristol Rovers then. He ended up going to Peterborough. It might even mean free when his contract went out. And I think he's always been a player that I've looked at and thought I'd love to have him, but I don't really see where he fits in. I don't think he would come to sit on the bench, and I don't think he'll play up top of Ross Stewart, because I think the two similar. When Broadhead was fit and they were playing up front together, it was two forwards who were slightly different from each other. I think they would clash too much, and it'd be like having two of the exact same players up front. So would it be a good acquisition to bring him in? Probably not really. I think if we didn't have Stewart, yeah, definitely he's a great striker at this level. He'll score you plenty of goals, and he'll do all the hold-up work and all the physical work as well to go alongside that. But I don't really see where he fits in. And with the $6 million added in as well, that's a completely ridiculous fee to pay for a League One striker when you've got the League One's top goal scorer in your squad anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean that figure of $6 million's absolutely ridiculous. I'll get onto that just now. Chris Johnson in the chat says Patrick Roberts is taking a bit longer because we want to sign him permanently. So We've heard good things about him. So that looks like that could be a good acquisition if that comes off. Right, this price tag of $6 million for Clark Harris, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's obviously a figure what's just being chucked about. We're saying that he's pretty much the same as Stewart. What figure then? If he came in at £1 million or something like that, we could get him for $2 million. What figure do you think would be a realistic figure to pay to have him on board, so that even if if he was back up for Stewart, even Terry?
He won't go back up though, will he? He want to play first team football at the age he is now, 26, whatever it is. He's not going to come to Sunderland. I mean, if Stewart got injured and was out for a couple of months, I hope it doesn't ever happen, but that's the kind of player he'd probably want to come in to sort of replace Stewart, not as backup as Stewart, because I don't think he'll want to sit on the bench, simple as.
Is Clark Harris getting a start for Peterborough at the moment? Is he playing regular for them?
I don't know, but I'm sure we can go to many other places and get straight into the team and get all the games he wants, to be honest. Right. I think Sunderland's just one of the teams he'll not be starting. We know the way sort of Johnson likes to play football.
All right, Jack Dodds, a price where you think that's too good to be true, we might as well take him. What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't really go from anywhere, because like I say, I don't think he's the type of striker we need. He's a very similar forward to Ross Stewart. And I think what we need is someone who, yes, can play up front when Stewart gets injured, but could also maybe play up top alongside him, or could offer us something new if we wanted to change our attack slightly. I think a realistic and a fair figure for Johnson Clark Harris would probably be between 1.5 and 2 million. I think if we retain in League One, I think that's probably a fair fee you look to pay for him, when you, because he is one of the better options at this level, I think, really. But for us, I wouldn't pay anything for him. I wouldn't even go for him. If it was a different team in League One, though, I'll probably say about 1.5, 2 million.
Right, so you wouldn't even go for him. Jack Shields?
I wouldn't be spending too much on him. I think it needs to be the right contract, the right length contract, and maybe you're not going to get him for $500,000. But if we got offered him for $500,000 with the right deal, couple of year contract. But I think it's just speculation that I don't think Johnson Clark Harris will be at Sunderland this window.
Can I just say as well? I highly doubt this is actually a rumour too serious. I mean, there's a lot of comments on Defoe, and that's been the rumour going around basically since it was announced that he was leaving Rangers. And don't get us wrong, I would absolutely love to see him come back to Sunderland. But again, I think him and Johnson Clark Harris, I just can't see them fitting into the recruitment model that, the current board and ownership are going for. We're going for players like Try Hume, Carl Winchester, Ross Stewart, Leon Diacu, Torben Hoffman, young players who you've never really heard of, who just fit a certain mould. And you're looking to get them for a lot cheaper. You're getting them from places where other clubs probably wouldn't be looking at them from. I can't really see us going for players that are too well known, players that are probably in the prime of their career, and players that are, if anything, maybe on a bit of a decline. Players who are going to demand too much of a higher wage. I just can't see it happening.
Right, just very quick. Oh, go on.
I don't even think we'd sign another Winchester at that age. I don't think we'll get anybody over. I think all under 25s, I think, possibly for me. I think it's just the way they're going, isn't it?
Right, just very quickly, Michael Bowers on the chat says, it doesn't hurt to have an extra option if, heaven forbid, Stewart gets injured.
You
mentioned there, because I'm curious about the pronunciation of this. Everybody's saying Try Hume. I think it's Trey Hume. Has anybody heard how it's pronounced yet?
Well, I heard it on one of his videos being shown somewhere, and it was Trey. I think it was Trey.
Right, okay. Jeff Allcroft says Johnson Clark Harris, an SAFC Fan TV mug could swing it for us. We'll chuck one of them in as well. Right then, Jermaine Defoe. It's the one. It's bandied about. It's a nice little story for the supporters to jump on. Tam on the chat already says Jermaine Defoe is 39 years old. Give our man, he's too old now. There's Akinfenwa at Wycombe Wanderers. He's 39, still coming on. I've put Jermaine Defoe as a better player than him. Is this just all fantasy, or would you see it as a genuine good move for Sunderland to bring Jermaine Defoe back? Jack Shields?
I'd I'd drive up to Glasgow now and get him if he wants to play. I think if he's wanting a short contract with the right money, I have to stress it has to be the right money. If he's willing to play, we shouldn't be doing a Will Grigg, and breaking all of our wage structure, just going, we'll give you whatever you want. But if Jermaine Defoe's willing to give Sunderland 4 months till the end of the season, I think it'll be a really good signing. I know what people are saying about him being 39 and 40. That's why it has to be a short-term thing. You don't want to give him a 1.5 or 2 years deal. But Jermaine Defoe's probably going to be wanting to move into coaching at some point. I think you couldn't get somebody better equipped to coach the Sunderland strikers, the Sunderland forwards, and someone like a Jermaine Defoe. Might there be an opportunity there whereby we say to him, look, we'll give you a contract, we will play you for 4 months, and then we'll also put you through your coaching badges should you want to come and do your coaching at Sunderland. I think, in terms of his age, yes, I get, we've got the recruitment model, but I think if the deal was to come about and he wanted to do it, it's crucial. It's down to Jermaine Defoe if he wants to come. If he did want to come, then yeah, I'd definitely go and get him, because I think you're talking about his age. You do lose your pace and things when a little bit, but you don't lose that striking instinct. I think he's still got that noose, that smell for danger for goals. So I think it would be a great signing. But I think, in all honesty, he's probably end up at West Ham. I think that's probably where he'll end up, like in a coaching type contract.
But I think you're right there with offer him a year deal and a coaching role, and he automatically just you're right. He'd be superb with our youngsters. Terry, Jermaine Defoe, is it all fantasy, or would you actually like to see him back?
Well, I personally think he doesn't fit anything but any of the structure at the club now. If it had been different owners at the club, fair enough. I agree with Jack, though. I mean, I think I think it would give the crowd a big lift on a Saturday afternoon as well. I think it would, but 39-year-old, he is probably going to be one of the fittest 39-year-old blokes around. He looked after himself, and it all depends on I can see where Tam's coming from, 39-year-old, but if he's in good shape, and I'm sure he is, I'm sure he keeps himself in really good shape. He was only playing like last season for Rangers. If his condition was fantastic and he was ready to play and, or maybe he's on the bench a little bit, but I don't think it'll happen. I personally don't think it'll happen. I think he'll end up somewhere in London. Maybe he's one of the smaller clubs in London, just seeing out the rest of the season. I've heard Charlton are even interested in getting him. So I don't know. If I was in charge of the club, I'd try to bring him, but it all depends on the wages.
Right, okay. Tony Lee, friend of the show, says Lee Johnson 1-1-4 here. He'll see him as a threat to his job. Jack, would you like to see Jermaine Defoe?
I mean, personally, I would love to see him here. I still think at 39, he could make some kind of impact of the squad. I think a player of his quality, he looks if he's still in shape. He was only playing regularly as late as I think it was last season, maybe the season before. He was still, playing more or less week in, week out. I think we're all been, playing a lot anyway. So I think he could still make a good impact on the pitch. Maybe coming off the bench, or even getting a start here and there, offer something very different to Stewart. I think it would also lift the crowd, lift the area. Like, you'd get a lot of fans coming back in just to see Defoe. It's like when Ronaldo came back to Man United, to a lot lesser extent, of course. But all of a sudden, ticket prices raised. People want to come and see Man United more. I think, to a lot lesser extent, you'd see that coming here. And additionally, I think I would love to have his experience passed down to the younger lads coming through, or even the lads in the squad right now. He's got a really long, varied, and successful career to do his coaching badges. So I would absolutely love to see him come. I just don't think it's the type of signing we would make at the club. We're looking for younger players who can grow. We're looking for players, on the cheap, players who are coming in from, kind of more obscure locations like Ireland, where maybe scouting isn't quite as strong over there. I doubt it'll happen. But, if there was an offer on the table, and I think most importantly, if it wasn't going to kind of, as Jack said, break the wage structure, if it was all going to fit into what we were doing, absolutely, I'd bite anyone's hand off for it.
Could anybody guess what the wage structure is? Does anybody actually know what? Like, I would have thought Pritchard would be the highest paid player there.
McGeady
maybe.
McGeady's still the highest paid player, is he? So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but that would be my speculation. I think we've got. I don't know the exact figure, but I would imagine he was given a contract like 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't he? And might just be something in his contract whereby he triggers it every time. I don't know.
But to get Pritchard in from Huddersfield in a free transfer, he would be on, like, I would have thought, it's one of the highest wages there, I would have thought.
Yeah, I would agree. He'd be up there.
Right. Just very quickly then, because we are running out of time. Lazy Lobbers Magnet Fishing says he'd chew his arm off to get Defoe back. Chris Johnson says Defoe said today he wants to keep playing. If Defoe wants to keep playing, then Sunderland is the ideal fit for him, in my eyes, I think. Right, just very quickly, because we are just about out of time. I want to quickly go to Accrington Stanley. And Terry, I'd like you to get your whiteboard out for us to.
I don't want to tonight.
Terry, it's all part.
I don't even know who's going to be fit to play. I don't even know who. Right, I'm going to suggest that Bailey Wright's coming back, right? And he may laugh at the team selection, but I really don't know. Right, so.
Oh, change that.
The only players I would really definitely want to start is Wright, Patterson, Flanagan, Doyle, Pritchard, Stewart, and then Embleton, and then I'm not quite sure about the rest, where the rest fit in. I don't know. I'm just so confused who's available, that's all.
Well, that's been a great help.
Very peculiar lineup, that, isn't it?
You're glad you did that, Phil.
Thanks for that, Terry. I
said I didn't want to show it, didn't I? I said, but you forced it into it.
Well, no, people
you were like, Lee Johnson strangling that poor kid on Tuesday night. Get on the floor, lad. I don't want to be on the floor. Get on the floor.
Listen, people tune in for your whiteboard and your team.
When they're all back from COVID and they all fit on now, to put on. But personally, like I said before, Bailey Wright's the main person to get back. Right. If he's getting over his little bit of injury, then I think the defence goes back to a flat, goes back to a 3 centre-backs. I think it'll be much better on Saturday.
Right, okay. Let's have a prediction from you then, because we are out of time. Jack Dodds?
1-0 to Sunderland.
1-0 Sunderland. Jack Shields?
2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland. Mad Mistake?
1-0 to Accrington Stanley at half-time, then Sunderland win 3-1.
Right, well, I'm going for 3-1 as well, just for a change. I think we'll get a win. We'll be back on track. Look, we've got 93 likes. 7 more people just hit the thumbs up. That'd be superb and will help. And it'll get us to our 100. And don't forget, of course, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Don't forget about this Bolton Wanderers on the 29th of January. You've just got to be a member of the channel. It's open to you if you're a member. If you're not a member, you can join the channel. It's $1.99. There's a link in the description below. Join and then just send your name to our email address, sfcfantv73@gmail.com. You will be in the draw. The draw will take place a week on Sunday, and you can be on the bus. We've got the bus. We're all going down. It's your travel paid for. Your ticket to the game is paid for. We'll even bring you back home as well. Terry?
Do you pay for the cans on the bus and that?
Hey, you can't drink. You can't drink. Away fans can't drink on
I'm not sure you're allowed to.
Why? Can you not drink on the bus? What for?
Well, the bus has to be registered with the bus has to be registered with the police, I believe. So let's say nothing about drink on the bus. And
we'll leave a message in the bottle, shall we?
we'll discuss that off camera. But yeah, if you want to join us, we will. It'll be a good laugh. We're going to do a live stream on the bus on the way down. We'll do some vlogging down there. We're all sat together. There's going to be over 5,000 Sunderland fans there. Get yourself in the draw. Join us on the bus. We'll have a laugh. We'll take some scissors in case Jack falls asleep, and we'll give him a haircut. We'll do all that, and we'll take some tape for Terry's mouth to stop him singing.
I'll be asleep as soon as I get in the car or a bus. I just fall asleep.
All right, fair enough. Listen, thanks for tuning in. We will be back. We'll be back on Saturday for a live stream of the Accrington game. Then we're back on Sunday for another edition of the Sunday Bunch. Lads, it's been a good one. Do you want to say bye to everybody, Jack Dodds?
Bye to everybody, Jack Dodds.
Well done. Jack Shields, would you like to say bye to everyone?
See you later, lads and lasses.
And Terry, just say bye, would you?
Bye, would you?
Bye, would you? And that's it from me, Wee Philly. Don't forget, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here on the channel on Saturday. See you then.
And don't strangle anybody, mind. There no physical violence at all.
Fine.